Wednesday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerton. I hope everybody had a phenomenal trading day yesterday as we had a great Tuesday to kick off the week. Monday and Tuesday have been fairly sideways days, but we have seen a little bit of market movement. We're down a little bit this morning, but let's go ahead and dive into our four major markets, starting with the S&P. S&P is down almost 2 points today. So those of you that trade the S&P futures market, oh no, run for the hills. We're down, but we did wind up putting in a new all-time high yesterday at 45.90. So we got a little breakout above the prior all-time high, but didn't really go anywhere from that point. Now, one of the levels that we were looking at yesterday in our live trade room was this 15-minute area right here, where we did get a little bounce off of that zone and got about a 2-to-1 move away. Now, if you missed it the first time, you got another opportunity the second time. And then, oh, look, it hit it a third time. So if you're here with us regularly, you know what we talk about. If something hits a level 3 times, once, twice, 3 times, that truly sets up for a really nice reversal heading back the other direction. Now, in this case, that other direction would be price coming back down, and that means that we would be shorting near the all-time high. Now, I'm not normally a huge fan of shorting at an all-time high unless you've got the proper setup. And in our case today, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback to around this 45.50 area. Now, we had taken a look the other day at what's the best, most clean pullback zone on a swing trading perspective. And the level that we had talked about was this area right here, which is this little wick over wick zone on the swing trading perspective. Right now, we had broken above the breakouts to the all-time highs. And so there are a couple of other areas to focus on and pay attention to. This 45.15, if we were to break below there, I think we could make it down to this 44.80 pretty easily. So on a much smaller time scale, how do I trade this? Well, let me get rid of these areas here because we're not going to be utilizing that. But I think you could theoretically go a bit of a candle-to-candle breakdown from here if you get some sort of a reversal candlestick, because I'm going to put that zone back on here, because that area, that old area of demand, could be acting as supply, or old support can act as new resistance. So if you wanted to go with a candle-to-candle reversal off of this, I think that's a very effective way to do it with a target of about 45.50. I think there's a good chance we make it down to about 45.50 today. Next would be the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq, we were looking yesterday at a little breakout, and we did get a little breakout out of this position, moving for a very nice quick 2-to-1 on that little breakout area here. And then it came down to our 15-minute level. Now this one, as opposed to the other, broke through the confirmation area before giving you an entry. Although very similar picture, that 3 touches to that area. So what I would look at now is this area here for a potential breakdown. And if we do break down, I think that you have a very nice little natural price target and even potential long opportunity down here at 15,431. So keep an eye on those 2 areas for today. Moving over to crude oil. Crude oil yesterday, we got a little move off of a 15-minute level from earlier in the day on an hourly chart. This area down here is still very valid. We are putting in a little bit, I don't want to call it a topping pattern, but we did put in a lower swing high in the overnights. Have not yet got a lower swing low on our 4-hour chart. On the 1 hour, I will say that I really, really, really like this price structure right here. I don't love the time of day, but I really love the price structure that created and formed. If I go down to a 15-minute chart, I've actually got a little level right here that's also very strong. But I'm going to put this 84.02 by 84.16 and leave this in here as a potential reversal for some point today, knowing once again that it's not a great time of day that it was created. That's right around midnight, which is not awful, right? There's definitely worse. It's not awful, but there certainly could be better. And then we have gold. So looking over at gold, we talked about the fact that speed candles tend to get retraced. Well, this big red speed candle got retraced. Monday, and then price came back down. We didn't get any basing here for a secondary breakout opportunity because yesterday we sold off hard for about 3 candlesticks, and then that area got slightly retraced, not all the way back up to the top. So we talked about this one yesterday, that if you're a bit more aggressive, you had the origin of this move, and we were looking at, when we were in class, the market was right about here, and it just never came back all the way to give us that quality entry. And so I'm going to leave this area here. I think that level actually is still very valid, but I need to make sure I switch the colors because that's a 15-minute level. I thought it looked a little wonky on the hourly chart. But on a 4-hour, we are technically still in that bigger picture upward trend that hasn't really changed. It's kind of a meh upward trend, but it is still an upward trend, and it is definitely seeing price shock. Price shock means candles that are in the opposite color, right, opposite direction of our overall trend, that are big, right? Big red candles in the context of a big uptrend would be considered price shock. And so now the areas maybe to pay attention to would be a breakdown below 1783 with a target down there at 1774. So those are our 4 major markets for today. I think all of those give you some decent opportunities for today. It's nice to have a couple things that are sitting out there, hanging out there, and I think that all of those could work out for an opportunity today. Stock of the day. Let's talk about our stock of the day. Stock of the day that I want to talk about today is IBM. And the reason I'm talking about IBM is because when I look at IBM on a daily chart, we had the gap down, strong gap down. And now we're kind of hovering above this 126 area, I think, for a potential another leg down from here. And so if we break down from here, I think your next level where we would stop might even be, 120 clearly, but could go a bit lower. So I think that actually is setting up for a little bit of a potential breakdown from this region, and it looks really clean on a 1-hour chart. Right, we can see that on a 1-hour chart is even a bit cleaner. Now we're going to open up this morning at 127.19 by 127.24, so right in here. So a little bit up, but basically opening where we closed yesterday. So that's all I have for today, everybody. If you guys have any questions, as always, send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Oh, by the way, real quick, futures class next week. For those of you that are interested in a futures class, November 1, 2, and 3, we have a live online futures class. You're welcome to join us. Go to tradersarmy.com or send an email asking if you want some details about our futures class. Love to have you join us as we're going to go through the different futures markets that are available. But that's all I have for today. Talk to you soon. See ya.
Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.